r/rules horror. Posted by i-simp-much. Thank you for coming to my sleepover. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Just be careful, come more often sometimes, you are my best friend after all. Smile, but remember these rules, otherwise if you do break any of them maybe you should prepare yourself mentally and physically. 1. Always say hello to mother, she will welcome you with a smile, and pet the dog, otherwise mother may poison your food. 1a. Sister will be in mother's room, she will be watching TV, say hello to her and do not disturb her, she will trouble you from there until you leave the house. 1b. Father might be home, say hello, and be polite. If he doesn't say anything back to you, run to my room immediately, and make sure to put your head down. 1c. This is a little tip for you, fall asleep before 3 a.m., otherwise refer to Rule 5. 2. It's dinner time. Mother will make you food, make sure you eat it, and do not leave anything on your plate, mother will take it as an offense, and the dog might bite depending on its mood. 2a. If you hear voices, ignore them, and do not look out the windows. 2b. Once you are in my room, mother and father will not disturb us but occasionally will come into the room, ignore them. 3. There will be sounds of random things above my room, do not pay any attention to them. 3a. It's midnight and it's time for a snack. Mother and father will not notice you from 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. 3b. I will accompany you to get a snack to eat, we can do anything in this time frame, refer to the time given above, but be careful, the dog is right in front of the kitchen, do not make too much noise, it may alert mother and you should hope you can run faster than mother and the dog. 4. If you do go out after 2:30 a.m., mother will know, even if the door is closed, she knows everything. 4a. Do not make too much noise in my room, she will come in the room, and act like you are sleeping when she comes in. If she catches you, you'll be better off dead. 4b. Once mother goes out of the room, you may have some cuts and bruises, make sure to tell me, otherwise it may infect you. 5. It's almost 3 a.m., and if you cannot fall asleep, scream into the pillow the following phrase: I promise to not cause trouble, let me fall asleep. If that doesn't work, they will get you. 5a. I will wake you up at 4 a.m. not a minute before or after that, brush your teeth, change out of your night suit into your normal clothes, do not fall asleep again. You will never wake up again. 5b. I will make something to eat, be quiet, mother doesn't like to be disturbed, neither does father and sister. 6. We have to go outside with the dog, it might still be cold and dark outside, there will be shadows, voices and human-like figures. Ignore them. 6a. If you do start seeing them, do not look back, do not look to your sides, just inform me, and the dog will take care from there. 6b. If there is another person there, and I am not near, do not shout for me, kill the person. Do it. Do not hesitate. It's not one of us. 7. It's almost 5 a.m. now, don't worry now, there won't be too many rules more. Once we reach home, go straight to my room, don't wait for me, just go. 7a. Wait there, do not come out, I will knock on the door with the tune of a song, if it's random and not rhythmic, it's not me. Do not open the door. 7b. If you start smelling smoke, don't worry, it's almost over. 8. Do not take a bath, otherwise you would end up showering in acid. 8a. If it starts raining, do not go outside, do not look outside, close all windows and curtains. Congratulations. You survived. Come more often, it will be really fun. I promise. Smile, but I hope you enjoyed staying with us. Come join us another time. Next story of this video. Posted by u/non, biblical, Bishop 753. Your place in the past. So, look, we have to ask you a few questions before we even considering sending you back, okay? The scientist said in an enthusiastic but yet weary voice. He asked some what I'm guessing were protocol questions. You know what period you're being sent to? I nodded, the Roman Empire. Not just the Roman Empire. You're going to the end of the crisis of the 3rd century, there's a lot you need to know and remember. He huffed, but I just continued to listen in silence. Remember, your Latin is ecclesiastic, not Roman. It differs a bit, but it'll give you the foundations to get by. Just avoid talking about God. The Romans really didn't like the Christians at this point. Is that it? I looked at the now team of scientists messing around on computers, giant screens, writing things down. The now unarranged bookshelves which they forced me to read front to back and back to front to ensure I wouldn't alter the timeline, to ensure I would blend in and survive. Okay, look, we won't lie. The museums also didn't like sponsoring this trip, so you will have very little money, just whatever coins we could find in recent archaeological digs that we may or may not have reported to the other wings of the government. I won't snitch if you don't. He let out a small chuckle, more like a nervous wheeze more so than anything. Finally, upon arrival within the Eternal City, find somewhere private. I have included a set of rules for survival in your coin purse. It's double-sided. One side is the societal rules you must obey within the Eternal City. One side is to optimize your experience. Rules to optimize my experience? Probably should have told me these while I was preparing all these months, reading and doing language classes. But, okay, maybe it was a last-minute oversight. I followed the scientists to the machine. A towering, mechanical mess. Nothing on it makes sense. But hey, at least I won't have to do anything, I'm not the brains. A countdown from 10 later, and with a loud flash, I awoke with what felt to be the worst hangover ever. A stomach that felt like a washing machine and a headache that felt like a 2-inch drill bit was penetrating my temple. I spent a while laying down to compose myself. Only after I'd say 5 or so minutes did I actually bother to stand up and begin walking down the alleyway I found myself in. A beautiful city emerged in front of me as I stood into the light. Beautiful homes with elegant pots outside their doors and windows. A beauty of the ancient Latin language landed upon my ears. Chants of Christiani de Lenda Est filled what looked like the Aventine Hill if my memory served correct. I walked over to one of the pots outside a home and filled my hands with liquid inside only to splash my face. The overwhelming and potent stench of urine filled my nose and everyone around me began to give me death glares. I immediately knew my mistake. Fuck it, I decided, I shall explore this beautiful city as much as possible. I visited the pubs, the fast food stalls, the forums, but then I remembered the money problem. So I just traveled to the nearest bathhouse I could and sat down at a bench. A man approached and immediately introduced himself. "What province are you from?" It is easy to spot you outsiders, the amazement on your face tells your story. I looked to him and laughed. "My father is Vandal, my mother is from the civilized province of Dalmatia. And I guess you are from the city? My name is..." I paused. "Iovius." "Well, Iovius. I am Aper, born during the consulship of Virturinus and the glorious Imperator Caesar Marcus Aurelius Probus Augustus of his 5th consulship. I am an aedile within the Senate. How about I show you more of our city, my friend? Show you the glory that your barbarian father resisted all those years ago." I paused once again, slowly but surely translating his words one by one. As the vocabulary swirled around my mind, I couldn't help but notice the features of Aper. A lighter-skinned man than most here, blue eyes. His hair was styled just like anyone else's. But something just seemed off. "Sure, lead me through the city that your ancestors have built." I wondered, should I make the joke? I couldn't resist. Was it really built in a day? Aper just looked back at me and smiled. Whoa. The Romans really were arrogant and superstitious, I assume. After a long day he brought me to his home, we ate and he brought me to a bed to sleep in. I thanked him and only then did I remember the note in my coin purse. I looked at side A. 1. No weapons beyond the pomerium. 2. Respect the Vestal Virgins. I just turned the page over before finishing the rest. Did they really not trust me to remember the societal rules of Rome? Side B was more sinister. 1. Remember, don't do anything to disrupt the timeline. You can do as you please, just don't go killing people or robbing people. Just be decent and don't disrupt people in their duties. To do so would be to alter the future entirely. 2. The year is 302 AD, as much as we love to argue politics and religion in our time. Mention these things then and you'll be killed. It's 1 year before Diocletian's persecutions. If you're killed, we honestly don't know how this will affect the timeline or the future. Could be a paradox, you could just cease to be. We don't know if the universe has a sense of humor. 3. You're not the first subject who has gone to this time period. Just be wary. The last man we brought back was traumatized. He kept muttering something about a 20-year-old boar? If you could retrieve us that information too, that'd be brilliant. He claimed to have been attacked, we saved him in the nick of time though. 4. Please keep an eye out for a man with blue eyes. We know this is a big ask, but it is the ancient Romans. Not many had blue eyes, they were Mediterranean. Our first subject was a man in his late teens/early 20s and he has not yet returned. We need to retrieve him. I began pondering the last 2 rules. Aper has blue eyes. His age? I don't know. I don't know who was consul for every year, Victorinus? Who has he? I knew of Probus, but he had so many reigns as consul. It is then the door slowly pushed itself open, a sword's gleam behind the shadow only reflected by the candle carried alongside it. It finally sunk in. Aper. Writer's note, since I'm too lazy to answer potential questions about Aper. Aper is Latin for the boar. I know the ending is rushed, but it's my first story, so hopefully plenty of potential to grow.